Actually, so just give me 1 second. What time is that? Okay, a few more minutes. We have like 2 more minutes. Like
yes, I will gibber away, so you can just mute yourself. Hello, everybody on YouTube. We are getting started soon. I'm just overly eager to make sure that it works. So I connected us over a little early just to make sure that it works fine.
just give me 1 second.
I doubt anybody here is super early because I know it is in the morning. My name is Veronica Wilson, and I work at Idea Exchange. While we're waiting, I can talk about a few programs. So first, this afternoon, we are hosting another science literacy.
You have like 2 more minutes. Like
yes, I will gibber away, so you can just mute yourself. Hello, everybody on YouTube. Okay. So sorry. This is new going to YouTube. There's going to be some growing pains, it looks like. So as I was saying, tonight or this afternoon at 2 o'clock, Ocean Wise is going to be joining us virtually, and we're going to be going to Canada's coastlines and learning about the ecosystems that exist there, but also about seaweed and how seaweed can help fight climate change. So that is also going to be a YouTube live event, so you can hop on over to our main YouTube page, and you can follow that event, and it will notify you when it goes live. Next week, we are going to the Toronto Zoo for a virtual visit, which will be a lot of fun. We are going to the African savannah, hopefully weather-wise. That one is going to be weather dependent. That is on Thursday, September 30th at 1:30 p.m. And then in October, we have a fabulous lineup for you. We're going to be going to Costa Rica twice virtually, once to see the sloths in the Sloth Conservatory, and then another time the next week we're going to the Toucan Rescue Ranch to kind of learn about what they do there. So and it is now almost 10 o'clock. Here we go.
so you're good?
We're good. So
Yay.
I think we can get started.
Awesome.
If you would like to start, and I will keep an eye on YouTube. For those on YouTube, you can leave your questions in the chat room and I will bring them over, so you don't have to worry about your questions not being answered. I will keep an eye on it. And same with Zoom as well. People can use the chat room, and have fun, everybody.
Thank you so much, Veronica. Hello, everyone. I am really excited to be here today, and thank Idea Exchange and Veronica for this opportunity. And today we will learn and discuss what we can do to reduce waste, a topic that I'm deeply passionate about. So before we start, I would like to read the land acknowledgement. I will begin this presentation by acknowledging that we are meeting in this place today, this place at the Aboriginal land that has been inhabited by Indigenous people from the beginning. As settlers, we are grateful for the opportunity to meet here, and we thank all generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. We recognize and deeply appreciate their historic connection to this place. We also recognize the contributions of Métis, Inuit, and other indigenous people have made both in shaping and strengthening this community, our province, and this country as a whole. Okay, so let's start with a quick introduction. Hello, I'm Farha. I graduated from the University of Toronto. I love art, I love jazz, and I love gardening. I have a deep appreciation for the environment. And I'm passionate about environment, and I think everyone is creative in their own way or another, in one way or another. And I love blending creativity towards waste reduction and living an eco-friendly lifestyle. I want to increase waste literacy in our community while reducing plastic pollution in our ecosystems. So that's me in a nutshell. So let's start plastic in general first. Plastic is all around us. It's a problem, and it's not just in the basic necessities. It's in terms of necessities, from items of necessities to items of single-use convenience. It's a material that makes up a significant part of our lifestyle. Today, plastic is everywhere, but it wasn't always like this way. In the 1950s, manufacturers began replacing traditional plates or glass staples, such as plates, cutleries, bottles, with more durable and plastic alternatives. They were marketing those plastic as, oh, these you don't have to wash, you can just throw it away. So as you can see from these two ads on the slides from the 1960s and 70s, these were the brand started manufacturing everything from disposable baby bottles for babies and to disposable water cups for adults and young adults. So from babies to adults, the marketing brands had everyone covered, and they had everyone and everything covered. And very soon, plastic was everywhere. So after World War II, brands started encouraging a throwaway culture that is now drowning the world in trash. So on the next slide, these two pictures are of the same lake, Lake Wuru in Bolivia, which is also now known as the Lake of Plastic. Plastic on the right, so the picture on the right is what it used to look like, and picture on the left is from an article that was written in 2021. So as you can see, the difference is drastic and devastating. Plastic in the environment does not decompose. It degrades to smaller and smaller pieces, from the size of glitter, which is also plastic, by the way, to microplastic. Every piece of plastic that has ever been made still exists in some form. So plastic never truly goes away. So what we can do to reduce this waste, where can we start? I like to think that disposable cutlery is a very good way to start. It's easy, and it's very affordable as well. And I personally think it's easy and everyone can start. Like if you want to start reducing waste, this is a very, very easy place to start. So we produce a lot of plastic waste, an estimated 3.3 million tons per year. And this is just in Canada. So what can we do? Say goodbye to disposable chopsticks, knives, spoons, forks, and even sporks, and start carrying reusable cutleries and that we can easily store in our bags or backpacks. Stainless steel, cutlery, or bamboo, both are fantastic, both are great. And like I said, start carrying whatever you have in your backpack. You don't have to go out there and buy anything, any bamboo cutleries, because most of us have stainless steel cutleries readily available at home. So let's start carrying those, what we already have at home, in our bag or backpacks, and it's a sure way to reduce your carbon footprint. Next on the slide, we have plastic bottles. In Ontario alone, it is estimated 1 billion bottles each year end up in plastic bottles that end up in landfills and our environments. The world is drowning in plastic water bottles, with 1 million sold every minute. And by consuming or buying these plastic bottles, we only amplify the plastic crisis many times over. So what can we do instead? What do you think? In my opinion, I think reusable plastic bottles is a very, 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 very easy alternative to plastic water bottles. And by simply refilling a reusable water bottle, you will prevent some of these plastic bottles from ending up in landfills and our beautiful lakes and oceans. But don't stop there. You can bring reusable coffee cups, or mugs to your coffee shops and ask the barista to fill it up instead of using plastic or paper or even styrofoam cups. I have a stainless steel bottle that I use as my coffee mug as well when I'm outside. And this helps me preventing a lot of unnecessary plastic waste. So now this is a picture of U.S. U.S. Representative Kent Calf drinking water from a Hershey's chocolate syrup bottle. He was reusing and repurposing a disposable plastic bottle. So what's the point of this story, you ask? The point of the story is that it doesn't have to be a fancy water bottle or spoon or container or a trendy product that marked as eco-friendly for one to possess in order to start to reduce waste. The idea is simply use whatever you have first and not throw away things mindlessly. And it is as simple as that. So next stop, we have black plastic containers, which we mostly see being used for food deliveries and takeouts. Now, single-use bags, containers, plastic bottles, food containers, and food wrappers are most widespread items polluting our global ocean and our environments. And it's really hurting both animals and animals alike. So what can we do to reduce this waste? I believe bringing our own reusable container is a very good way to reduce that waste. Whether you are picking up takeout or bringing home your restaurant leftovers, be prepared with your own reusable containers. Now, it is advised against during the lockdown to bring your own containers, but since we are opening again, more restaurants and stores are allowing us to bring our own reusable containers. So just ask or check with the restaurants with the restaurant servers, or call them and ask them if you can bring your own containers or not. Like when you place your orders, ask if you can get the food placed to your own containers. Next slide, we have plastic sachets. So plastic sachets that are filled with ketchup and hot sauce of our favorite French fries or favorite burger. And these sachets, when we are done with those plastic sachets end up in the landfill. And approximately 80% of the plastic that end up in the land and in the ocean comes from land-based sources such as sachets. So let me ask you, what do you think we can do instead, or instead of using these plastic sachets for our ketchup? Anyone want to take a stab at it, or anyone want to?
The little disposable bamboo cup thing.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Yes, that's a very very good answer. And that's one of many ways we can reduce that waste as well. We can use small reusable containers, fill them up with some of our favorite ketchup or mustard or ranch dressing sauce, and put them in our bag or backpack before we head out. I love hot sauce. I love hot sauce. So what I usually do is I keep a tiny little bottle in my bag and wash it and refill it after every as necessary. And I love putting that in my backpack, and I love sharing with my friends as well when I go out. So next slide. One sea turtle's worth of plastic. So this article was written in March of 2011. Pictured below are the stomach contents of a small sea turtle from the coast of Argentina. When I first saw the picture, I thought it was a tiny pieces of probably seaweed. Then I took a closer look, and I was really interested. I was really fascinated by the shape of the stuff. So I took a closer look and I started reading the articles, and sadly I found out these are pieces of plastic. These are pieces of plastic. Oceanic plastic is pulled into the center of rotating currents. And these plastic that we throw in the water end up in the ocean. So this plastic never really goes away. Just because they break down over time doesn't mean they really go away. They break down into smaller and smaller pieces to microplastic. Some of these plastic end up in planktons and algae or drift to the ocean floor. Others are mistaken for food by animals such as turtles, fish, and birds. So this plastic pollution is making it harder and harder for these beautiful creatures to survive even. And disposable plastic straws are part of this problem. We Canadians alone use close to 57 billion straws every single day. This is devastating. So what we can do to change that? I believe reusable straws is a very good way to start. And they can be made of stainless steel or glass or bamboo. One of the easiest way to keep plastic out of landfill and ocean is to reduce plastic straws. Simply inform your server or your waiter or waitress when ordering food or drink that you do not need one. And make sure to specify this when you are ordering in the drive-thru as well, that you do not require one and you have your own reusable straws readily available. So lastly, we'll talk about plastic bags. Canadians use almost 15 billion plastic bags every year. And if you're already bringing your reusable bags to the grocery store, you are on the right track. Reusable produced bags will keep even more plastic out of landfill and from our ocean. So we talked about some of the easiest ways to keep plastic out and reduce waste. And there are many, many more out there. So by remembering the 5 R's, it will help us a lot reduce that way, to reduce plastic and reduce waste in general. First, on this inverted triangle, which is also known as, which is basically the upside down triangle. So first on the triangle we have, on the very top, we have refuse. So refuse and say no to single plastic. Then we have reduce. Reduce generally, so if we reduce the general consumption or buying or impulse buying, we will reduce the amount of plastic that ends up in the landfill or ocean tremendously. So basically reduce the amount of general waste you create. Next is reuse. So by saying no to disposable and saying yes to reusable items will help the environment and ecosystem tremendously as well. Then we have so what did we do? Refuse, reduce, reuse. We will next we have reuse. So yes, we will say no to repurpose, to dispose, and say yes to reusable items. For repurpose, I believe finding creative ways to reuse an item and learning to fix or repair and repurpose is a very, very good way to start. Lastly, we have recycle. Recycle should be the very last option. Recycling things that we cannot refuse, reduce, reuse, or repurpose, but making sure that we clean and dispose the plastic responsibly is a very good practice. So the upside triangle basically means the huge chunk on top is what we have to focus first and what we have to really emphasize on, trickling down to the reduce part, ending up to repurpose, reducing, reusing, and repurposing items. And last option, the very last option, the very last thing which would really help us minimize the plastic waste is recycling responsibly and really, really mindfully. Recycling again should be the very last option on the list. Lastly, we have one of my favorite quote by Pete Seeger. It's actually a lyric from a song. If it cannot be reduced, reused, repurposed, repaired, rebuilt, refurbished, refinished, resolved, recycled, or composted, then it should be restricted, redesigned, or removed from the production. Sorry, I went away. Why did it go away? Okay, redesigned or removed from production. One of my absolute favorite code, and I believe this is something that we can all learn from. So that's it from me today. I would really appreciate if you have any questions or any comments. I would really love to hear.
while we're waiting, because I know there's always a little bit of a delay, and on YouTube there's a bit more of a lag. I just came back from New York, and they have really stepped up their game in terms of reducing the availability and kind of deterring people from using one-use plastics. So very few stores actually have plastic bags anymore.
Oh, that's amazing.
I know.
Amazing.
I thought I would share. This is like the perfect platform to share that. Paper straws. If you buy a water bottle, you now have to pay an additional tax on that water bottle.
Nice.
Things are all paper now, or bamboo, or it's just for a huge city like New York to kind of step the game up and really ban the use of single use plastic. Like, way to go to New York.
Oh,
Yeah, so I thought I would share, because as soon as you were going through all of those things that we can reuse, and while I was staying there, I noticed how far they've come. They're doing, actually, I'm afraid to say, they're doing a much better job than what we're doing here in Ontario.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can still see people carrying plastic bag in their groceries. Like, even though I believe it was a ban in July or June of this year.
I think the problem a lot of people are facing right now is COVID. And a lot of grocery stores, I know Zehrs, they used to, they're gotten a lot more lenient now, but at the beginning they would, like, you couldn't use your own bags for a while, and now it's still like they won't touch your bag. It's cool. And I completely understand. Sobeys and all that, they'll help you pack with your own bags and your own containers. But I know because of COVID, I think that's really hindered.
Yes.
But it's getting there. We're getting there. But yeah, New York is on the right track, which was really lovely. I'm trying to think. I do actually have somebody here asking, like, where do you recommend people buy like the bamboo cutlery? Like, is there like a good, because I know there's some stuff that says that they're organic, but they're actually not. Do you have any recommendations or anything like that?
And recommendations, like, I do a ton of research before buying something, to be honest, and then I found like in my personal opinion, like, I avoid like, I think we should avoid like online shopping stores such as Amazon, which is they don't really source where they're getting their products from, or where they got their sources. I love those bulk those naked or bare market stores or refill stores. They're local, and if you can go to your local bulk stores in your city. I'm from Toronto, so I do lots of my shopping from at Bear Market or unboxed markets, and they have a lots of sources where they can just sorry, I'm just going to plug in my computer very quickly before it's telling me the battery is low. So yeah, and so check your local bulk stores or eco-friendly stores or bear markets where you can get like those bulk items. Check with them. I'm sure they have the local or very, very organic, the items that you're looking for should be there.
Perfect. And anybody from our region, I can let you know that I think there is some in Waterloo and Kitchener and Guelph, but I know in Cambridge, Malloy's soap store, which is on Melville Street, I think they are like a bulk store, and they sell a lot of environmental friendly products, but they also allow you, I think, to bring your own containers and fill up. So definitely go check out them because they're quite a lovely little independent store. So yeah. And I think that looks like that's it. Thank you for joining us and sharing all. I always love having you here talking about this very important topic. And I hope we can have you back.
Yes,
And I know you're doing your
absolutely.
master's, so after you're, done all your papers and
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well,
all
thank you
that.
so much for having me. I'm really excited. It's always an excitement to be able to talk to people, and definitely loving. And I love to see you and talk to you about things like that. Thank you for telling me or about the New York, the things that are happening in New York. It's fantastic. It's very exciting, and I cannot wait for Toronto to or Canada just to really step up.
Yes, I hope for good things in the future, for both you and your education and your life, but also for the world and the environment. So, and thank you to everybody who joined us today. And we will see you. I hope to